Hey everyone, welcome back to Poker Revive. In my last video, I talked about my cash game stats and how I was able to turn my losing game around into a winning game. If you want to check that out, there's a link in the description. With that said, I've never really considered cash games to be my strength. I've always been more of a tournament player. Even when I first started off in online poker, it was all about sit and goes and occasional multi-table tournaments. And those sit and goes are just really good practice for tournaments in general, particularly the late game stage, playing on the bubble, playing as a short stack, experience that is going to be harder to come by if you just play multi-table tournaments. And I just think tournaments are way more fun. There's more drama, more excitement, more action. Who doesn't like a showdown between pocket twos and ace high? You're going to see that way more often in tournaments. So for a while I took a break from cash games and I focused exclusively on tournaments, which I see as my stronger game. And that's where I built up the bulk of my bankroll. So in about a year, I logged 156 multi-table tournaments. I only made 9 final tables, and just 2 of those were top 3 finishes in second place. But my in the money percent was 45.5% with an ROI of 35% and a net profit of $537. So it's not a huge sample, and I acknowledge that these figures might not be consistent as I keep playing, as I play higher stakes with better competition. So that begs the question, how did I achieve these results? And I'll go through some of the key factors that I believe worked out for me. First of all, late registering. Now, if I had the time, I would probably buy in from the start. Certainly, I'm missing out on opportunities to build up an early bankroll. But I'm a pretty tight player, so more often than not, I would find that by the time registration period closes, I'm usually near a starting stack anyway. And constantly what I'm finding is that once you register, it doesn't take that many hands to get in the money. 1 or 2 double ups and you're most likely in the money. There's even been a handful of tournaments where I didn't play any hands. I just folded my way into the money. And at that point, it's only 2 or 3 more double ups to get to a final table. I'm usually playing fields where there's maybe 40 to 100 players remaining, so that remains pretty consistent. The second factor is being selective about the tournaments that I play. I look for tournaments where 40 to 50% of the remaining players get paid. So if there's 40 players left, about 20 places get paid, give or take. This is ideal, and this is pretty common. Also, I don't play bounty tournaments because the min cashes, you just break even. You want to at least be coming close to doubling your buy-in with a min cash. And also because in bounties you have less fold equity. Your short stack is more likely to get called all in just because there's incentive with the bounties. The third factor is specifically trying to get into the money. So I want to get to the final table. I want to win the whole thing. But first and foremost, I'm trying to not bust out and get into the money. This, of course, means I probably give up some chances to build my bankroll on the bubble, but I'm always trying to mitigate my risk of getting knocked out. If I have a 60-40 advantage in a hand, that still means 40% of the time I'm getting knocked out of the tournament. So the closer I am to the bubble, the tighter I'll start to play, knowing that every hand there's a chance that a handful of players will get knocked out and move me closer to the money. This might be contrary to some of the common advice, but I still feel this is a smart way to play, especially when you're playing on a limited bankroll. The fourth factor is one-tabling. One-tabling I think is crucial so that you can understand your opponents, really pay attention to who's tight, who calls light, who's playing aggressive, and this will let you know when you should attack, when you should bluff, when you can call with a marginal hand like ace-queen or pocket eights. In the past, I've played multi-tables, 2-tabling, 4-tabling, but I think playing just one table has the best advantage, which is to focus and be attentive to your opponents at the table and adjust to their play accordingly. And the fifth factor I would mention is just playing really patient, playing really tight. Like I said, I'll fold down to my last big blind if it means waiting for a better spot. The shorter your stack gets, the more likely you're going to get called by a wider range of hands. This could be a bad thing, but this could also be a really good thing. Let's say you have 7 or 8 big blinds left and you shove with king queen or king jack. You're almost never going to get called by a worse hand. But let's say you have 3 big blinds left and you shove with king queen or king jack. You're very often going to get called really loose and end up being in a good spot. Someone calling with jack 10 or king 8 is going to make you a big favorite to double up or probably triple up with all the antes in the pot. And so that begs the question, can I maintain these results as I move forward? And of course, I will be setting my own challenge over the next 150 tournaments to see if I can continue the in the money percent of around 45% and maintain the 35% ROI. I'll be playing as many multis as I can and sharing the results with you all. So thank you all for tuning into Poker Revive. Wish me luck, and I will see you all soon.